Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is your real NerdCorp.com Bound for Glory recap show. I am your host, as always, Chad Porto. And joining me is my glorious co-host, Marcus. Marcus, we just finished watching the pay-per-view. And that's about as positive as I can be at the moment.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not alone in that.
The show itself, it felt a lot like an episode of Impact, not so much Bound for Glory. But that being said, there was still some stuff about it that was pretty good, and we'll get to it all. That's the whole point of this whole shindig. But let's start with the opener. Petey Williams, Sanjay, Trevor Lee, Matt Sydal, Garza Jr., and who am I forgetting? Desmond Xavier. What did you think of the opener? Live from Ottawa, X Division
It
title match.
it was another opener multi-man X Division match. A lackluster X Division match for me. And the biggest thing about this match, besides something else, other than something else I'm gonna get to, is they basically set it up, I guess, as a legitimate kind of have to tag yourself in match, I guess, to slow the action down. But then they threw the rules out at the end.
Yeah, that's well, it's I don't want to say it's typical lucha booking, but that's really what this was.
Yeah, that
Um,
that, that was just it was just poorly executed. Cause don't set something up and then just throw it all to hell at the end. So besides that, and we seemingly got this match already last Thursday on Impact. Um, yeah, I mean, other than that, like I said, it was straightforward. It was solid stuff. But I mean, between the fact that this probably didn't need to be a multi-man match, because I wanted to be one-on-one because the last time we got a decent feud out of this division was what Dutt and Low Key. And before that, I think it was what Trevor Lee and Everett, but for some reason he has mind control powers that make all his enemies come to his side. So I got Dakota Lee, and coming into this match, I thought the biggest person that was supposed to be coming into this match was Desmond Xavier, who won the Super X Cup. But he's kind of been an afterthought since he won that. They put him in a couple of matches. I think they threw him in a multi-man match with like Team Impact against the AAA guys or something a couple of weeks ago, and then he won the match on Impact. But he seemingly has been an afterthought. So this was just another multi-man match um, that kind of was just there. Didn't really do nothing special. They really do need to get back to feuds and singles competition.
I agree. With Bound for Glory, you're expecting more multi-man matches. That's just kind of how it's always been. But this, I thought, for an X Division opener, I thought it was a fine match. Nothing that's going to, be one of those that you have to, tell your kids about. You're not going to be like, I remember when I saw Petey Williams hit a Canadian destroyer in Ottawa. Like, no, you're not going to have that conversation. But it was a good opener. It did its job. The crowd was really hot for this match, and they were really hot afterwards. And the next three segments is kind of where it all fell apart because the show itself isn't a bad show. In fact, when it's graded out, I have it around ninth or eighth all time in Bound for Glory history. Now, there's only like 12 or 13 shows, so it's not like the greatest thing, but it topped 15 and 12, and what else did it top? 14, 2005. So it was a solid wrestling event. It just had a lot of moments that misfired, and I don't know why. So Trevor Lee ends up getting the win after a great, what was the Canadian Destroyer, and then Lee just bum rushes Petey out of the ring and then hooks the leg and gets the pin for himself. Not a bad ending, and you're right. The Call to Lee stuff is just weird. Mostly because it's stuff that should never have happened in the first place with the breakup. Caleb,
Yeah.
Andrew, and Trevor should never have had that falling out. So this is kind of their hackneyed way to get them back together, and I get it. So before we continue on, I want to address the arena. It looked like one of those kind of it looked like the Impact Zone, don't you think?
No, it looked exactly like the Impact Zone. I don't know if that was by design or accidental, but yeah, it looked like the Impact Zone. And ironically enough, at times for some of these matches, it felt like the Impact crowd.
Yeah, and to that, the crowd did get back into it in the main event and the opener. I don't think this crowd was a bad crowd. I think the show was not booked well for them
Yeah.
because that Patron promo really
Yeah,
shouldn't have been as long as it was, but we'll get to that.
yeah.
We'll get to that. So far, solid opener. I did like the layout. The structure of the roof made for a nice opener, kind of like an atrium kind of effect. The sound was still pretty good. And even though it looked like the impact zone, it was deeper and fuller than the impact zone. I'm hearing anything between 900 and 1,200 people were there, and all of
Okay.
them paid. So that's not bad considering they're running the same city for the next 6 days.
Yeah, which amounts to what, about 10 weeks of tapings, I think
Yeah,
Ty alluded to on Twitter. So
yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff, and they even said that Taya won't be back until January. So these tapings will take them through the end of the year. So we move on from there to Taishi Ishimori taking on Tyson Dukes. I love me some Tyson Dukes. He was one of the OG Team Canada members alongside Teddy Hart, which I really expected to see Teddy Hart show up. Maybe we'll see him on the Impact tapings. Maybe we'll get a speedball Mike Bailey on the Impact tapings. We'll see what happens. This was basically a 4-minute squash match, which is what it was designed for, to kind of eat time. But here's the thing that kind of baffles me. You know, all together, it took about 5.5, 6 minutes for them to do this match. Why couldn't you allocate that time maybe to a little bit more in the Monsters Ball or the 5150 Street Fight or even the Knockouts match? I felt this match was a big waste of time, considering its intentions. I love seeing Tyson Dukes, I do. He's awesome, but I felt it was unnecessary, and it didn't work out for me.
yeah, it was random and it was a time filling. It was. If you're gonna remember anything from this show, this is gonna be the last thing. Trust me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
this is what you said.
So just to kind of clarify, the X Division title match I gave a 3.25, and this I gave a 1.5 because it's a squash match. Dukes is awesome, so I gave it a little bump. Then we got the promo with El Patron, and he went on for a good 8 or 9 minutes in the ring, regurgitating the same stuff that we've heard him say, regurgitating things that he said earlier in the promo again and again and again. He could have. This should have been. So all right, I need to focus on my thought. The issue with the WWE is that they're too tight-knit with their scripting. They make the people follow these stupid promos written by stupid people who don't know how to cut promos. This is one of those instances where he should have had a scripted promo. Because whatever he was trying to do, trying to accomplish for the first 8 minutes was lost. But then when he kind of went over and started fucking with Jeremy, I felt like that actually got heat on him. But it was after he had already killed the crowd for the night, so that's not a good thing.
Kept trying to get sympathy and nobody gave a damn.
I don't know what the whole point. Like, he was obviously cutting a heel promo, like that was obvious, and I think I called it last week on well, not last week because we didn't do shows last week because I was but I called it on the Impact prediction show I did for making an Impact that I expected El Patron to get involved in the main event and cost Impact the match, and so yeah.
Yeah, the company has a history with kind of fuck finishes, if you
Yeah.
will. And with this, it got weird because at first it seemed like he was trying to get sympathy, because it came off like he was trying to tell people he did nothing wrong, which really, like, we all know you've had a tumultuous year to say the least, and this is outside of you and your girlfriend, so, or fiance, whatever. So it's like, okay, we're not, nobody believes that. So he kind of switched it to where it's like, okay, first I did nothing wrong and the company left me hanging, to, okay, I effed up, but nobody checked on me. It's like, like, okay, like, pick a battle. We don't care about either, but pick one. So it's like,
Yeah, that's pretty much what I felt. And he made an allusion to Jeff Jarrett at one point that was kind of under the cuff.
yeah,
So I don't know. It's one of those things where this match itself, I thought, and at the match, the promo I thought was largely unnecessary. And then we go from that, which it could have been fine if it was 2 minutes. You didn't check up on me. You suspended me for no reason. You allowed them to vilify me. JB, you didn't do shit, and then smacked around JB a little bit. If you had done that, cut it to 2 minutes, I think it would have been fine. But they gave him way too much time, and that was an issue. So then we go to the Monsters Ball match, where if Grado loses, he loses his visa, and What even was this match? This
By the
is.
time it was over, I felt like I lost my piece.
Let me just say, I spent all of the weekend ranking every match in Bound for Glory, giving them a grade, ranking the show based off of the accumulation of the scores. I can safely say, even with Maria and Gail from last year, I have never seen a more pathetic outing in a match than I have ever seen than in this match. And I'm counting the matches like Fight for Your Right reverse Battle Royal too. This is bar none the worst match in Bound for Glory history, maybe Impact Wrestling history. It was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was the only reason why I said, like I said, I even got into this partially because I'm not a fan of Grado. He's entertaining at times, but kind of in spots. He's not, shouldn't be all over the show. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that little promo and everything they did with the contract signing, what they did, I thought that was cool. I got into that, but I mean, I kind of knew what it was going to be coming into this match a little bit because obviously Abyss is at a certain stage. His career in Grado he ain't exactly AJ Styles.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be some tomfoolery and whatnot, but yeah, this was just like, what the hell? And then our girl Rosemary showed up because obviously she kind of got the short end of the stick.
That's why it wasn't a negative. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
In my head, I just see a number bounce up and down as the match is going on. At a
yeah.
point, I'm like, well, this is getting a negative.
Yeah, it was literally a random save because what link do you have to Grado? But yeah, it's not like your new friend Allie told you to give him an assist because they have no connection.
Well,
But
you can make the parlay that Laurel and Rosemary have had issues in the past, and Laurel and Sienna have issues with Allie, and Allie is friends with Rosemary. It's a stretch to get there,
yeah,
but it
yeah.
was definitely the Laurel involvement that brought in Rosemary, nothing else.
Yeah, and it was a even better, I guess, salvage more about the fact that her and Abyss got history and they tied that kind of in.
But then
Um,
Rosemary kind of went heel for a second when she tried to blow mist into Grado's face.
yeah, I was like, what was that? And then it was just what in the blue deuce. And then what the hell was that with the botched count? What like
That was definitely the fucking timekeeper or whatever the fuck that person's job is, getting a little overzealous because the ref never signaled for it. He went two, he did the two and ding ding ding. Why? But
Fast didn't need
he
another L.
he did wave it off. He did everything he was supposed to do. And you know what? I'm gonna say this, and it may be unpopular. I actually like the referees for this show. There's like 6 of them, so I thought that was very diverse looking crew. One of them looked like he was 12 though, and I thought that was hilarious. He was the one refereeing the 6-man tag. I'm like, guys, hurry the fuck up. He's got a 10 p.m. curfew.
Jesus, man.
And then you had hair plugged Earl Hebner in the main event.
Hair plugged Earl Hebner. Hilarious.
So, this was a fucking terrible garbage match. Rosemary ate some tags. Grado ate some barbed wire. No, both of them did actually.
With a soft black hole slam.
Right, just like cushion. Remember when Abyss and Sabu were ripping each other's limbs and muscles and tendons apart with barbed wire? Oh,
And now you remember when him and Bram took each other to hell in their Monsters Ball match?
that was actually a pretty violent Monsters Ball match. I'm about to say Hell in a Cell. Yeah, this match was terrible though.
And after the Patron promo,
Yeah. So you went from a jobber squash match to the awful Patron promo, then to this. The show was dead at this point. At this point, you were fighting to get back the crowd. And I'm gonna be honest with everyone. There isn't a match under 2.5 for the rest of the show. The action for the rest of the night was good. But after this near hour block of nonsense, because the promo for Patron lasted until almost 9 Eastern.
yeah, I took a piss break. No, ain't problem.
And then you had another 10, 12, 13 minutes plus with this. Oy, oif, oif. So, but then, just as I thought they would, the 6-man tag, I should say, really brought me back in. Tejano, Pagano, Phantasma, EC3, Edwards, and Storm. Really good match. A little confused as to why EC3 was so reluctant in the beginning to get involved, to the point where he was literally screwing Eddie over.
Yeah, he does that from time to time. Like sometimes he'll just do whatever for whatever reason. Like it doesn't at all match what was supposed to be going on. But I mean, I guess he feels like he can take a lot of liberties, but it doesn't necessarily track. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that him and Storm, because Storm was out, they never really got to handle their business before this, which I'm just going to be skeptical if they're ever going to get back to that because they do need to center some tension around that um, grand championship. But yeah, I mean, it was cool other than, that.
Um, for the story itself, I thought they delivered. AAA was really on point with their teamwork. Pagano, though, I'd seen some of Pagano in AAA, but Phantasma and Tejano really performed well. They were fantastic in this match. So was EC3. So was Eddie Edwards. Storm does what Storm does best. He at this point he's kind of more. What's the best way to describe him? Kind of more like Macho Man in WCW at this point.
Okay.
Can kind of give you a great match once in a while, but like he's there for name value only.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about the teamwork between Phantasma and Tejano because obviously on the prior impacts to this, they was wrestling in other promotions. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how long ago that was before the
Mid
actual.
October.
Okay. So yeah, there was a point in one of those AAA versus Team Impact matches where like did Tejano try to screw over Phantasma's dad or something? Like what?
I thought Phantasma tried to get Storm or EC3 to attack Tejano's dad, or vice versa. It
Yeah,
was weird. It was a weird spot.
it was weird. It was random, and I'm like, I guess they got over it. I guess that's because you hear about weird stuff in Mexico all the time, specifically with American wrestlers like, oh, I messed up and I almost got attacked by the arena and I had to get up out of there. But
Jeff
yeah,
Jarrett.
yeah, but other than that, yeah, like it was solid action and stuff. And it obviously, like you said, it got weird with EC3 in the beginning, but he pulled it out in the end. And shout out to Eddie for taking that Thriller to Kill
Yeah.
apron. That was sick. I love that move, but that was sick.
Well, as I was mentioning, the issue that I had most with this was Pagano. I thought Pagano was really out of his league in this match. Like, he looked really bad and poorly timed, and I think that's because he hasn't really worked in Impact at all. I don't think he's wrestled one actual match.
Yeah,
So,
he was kind of looking like he was because I guess he's used to that lucha style.
mm-hmm.
When he did stuff, I guess he was waiting on something that didn't happen, so he had to improvise.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it didn't. Yeah,
Now, the reason why I think Phantasma and Tejano did better was because they worked in Lucha Underground.
hmm
So I think that they were more accustomed to the American style of wrestling because despite that being a lucha libre promotion, still contained a lot of American style within it.
yep.
So with that, we go from the 6-man to the 5150 street fight, LAX versus OVE. Most of the match, what's the dark-haired one? Jake Christ spent most of the match like on the side. Dave threw chairs at people. It was fine.
Yeah, it was cool. I don't usually like to comment on people's physiques, but Dave, pull it back in a little. Get your couple crunches in there, man.
Yeah, like Jake's obviously like Dave's the more charismatic one, but Jake's the Jeff Hardy of the team for sure.
Yeah.
Watching Jake throw fucking chairs at everyone was hilarious. He threw one at Ortiz. I was like, oh, that had to hurt. Dave was laid out though, and Jake was about to get some doubly fucked up. They were talking about where's Homicide? Where's Homicide? Where is Homicide? Probably still in
I was,
Brooklyn.
I was looking for Diamante, man, because one of the points of this match was she was like, I can get involved in this match, and she was nowhere to be found, and Conan was pulling like some ghost type moves because freaking Dave did something to Santana. Then out of nowhere, you just see a chair hit him in the back, but you don't see Conan nowhere.
Well, Diamante's knee, I think, is still kind of jacked up, so that's probably why she wasn't there. So with Dave or Jake or whichever one was out, and the other one about to go through a table, all of a sudden we see a splash of white come up into Conan's face, getting into that cocaine apparently, and then all of a sudden we see a gentleman who I thought was the other Chris brother for a second, and then I realized that this one was wearing a shirt. And then I realized, oh, it's Sami Callihan. This is his debut. And Sami helped the OVE boys, win and retain the belts. And then he cut a little promo afterwards saying, this is Ohio versus everything. So clearly they are now going forth as a stable. The crowd, again, still pretty dead after that Grado Abyss fucking Patron promo. Didn't pop for Sami Callihan, and I'm not sure why. Callahan's one of those guys that fans, universally love. So we'll have to see if he gets a better response come the next set of tapings on Monday. So
Yeah, it was cool. You can't really compare this to any of the stuff we got from OV, not OV, but LAX and the Abyss in them. But
Decay.
yeah, Decay, that is. Yeah, you can't really compare this to that, but it got done what it needed to get done. We got some holy shit chants. Shout out to Santana for that dive. But yeah, like you said, it was cool. It could have got more time, but a freaking perro had to speak. So
Good roll of the R's.
thanks.
I gave it a 2.5 just because, like you said, it needed more time. It didn't get more time, and that did hurt its standing. We move on to the Impact Knockouts Championship. Gail, Kim, Allie, and Sienna. This was a fun little match. Sienna really worked her ass off. Allie looked fantastic, and Gail Kim showed that while she may be done after this match, she still had something left in the tank. Got a 2.75 from me. Good stuff. Gail gets the win on, what was it, Sienna?
Yeah, she got on. She came off the top row with an E defeat. Yeah.
That's right. Because she had tried to pin Allie a few times prior, and I'm like, Gail Kim heel turn? Because Allie's the little bunny, man. Like, you don't fuck with the bunny.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool. Congrats to Gail going out on top. We talk about how good she is. That kind of goes without saying at this point. Everything she's done for the company. I kind of wish she would have had a better build to her final match. At least if they could at least did a copy of what Kurt Angle did on his way out. Just trying to have some instant classes with some knockouts, kind of push them to the limit. But the roster is kind of tapped for prime names, I guess. Prime talent to do that. I mean, she would probably just have to have a series with Rosemary or something like that, maybe Sienna. Or she could have did it with Taya, but she came in later. But I think it could have been handled better because she kind of did more talking than she did actually getting out in the ring performing. But
well, I have to wonder how much of that is due to physical limitations. She may not be able to do what Kurt Angle did.
Yeah, you're right.
Because she did hurt her neck, so.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What I'll say about this is a lot of people are complaining that she didn't get enough time post-match to celebrate and maybe deliver a speech. But the thing is, they were already crunched on time. Patron went over. I don't even need to talk to anyone. I know he did. And they had to set up this steel cage. So, unfortunately, you weren't able to give her that moment. But she'll get her moment come Monday. Like, it's not going to be one of those things they don't do. She'll get her speech.
Yeah, she'll get her time, and they was kind of crunched for time. They needed to kind of buy some time for that steel cage, which is why I think they had a certain person come out for a random. Don't I? Like that? Don't I?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they're killing time up on the stage. JB and Jeremy are doing their best, and JB and Josh are doing their best, and it's all fine and well and good. And then all of a sudden, some dude walks up and just takes a selfie with all three, and JB's like, you don't work here? And Jimmy Jacobs looks around and goes, but don't I? And just kind of walks away. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. That's hilarious. I hope that's not his whole shtick, the whole just pop up, take a selfie thing. But, like, that was cool for a one-night thing. Like, I dig it. And with Sami Callihan and Jimmy Jacobs in this promotion, this is going to be interesting. Jimmy Jacobs is a very smart guy and should be booking this show alongside Scott D'Amore. And now, I want to point something out. Somebody on PW Insider who was reviewing the show said, there's no excuses for this. Dixie's gone, Jarrett's gone, Russo's gone. Everyone's just stupid book. It's gone. There's no excuse. Actually, no. John Gabrick is booking, and he very much books just like Dixie and Vince and Jeff, so...
Oh God, not Big John again.
Big John is leading the creative with Scott D'Amore, Jeremy Borash, Abyss, and I forgot who the other one is. All providing, basically acting as agents and such.
Why does he have to be leading? Like, just get somebody else to lead, man. He's literally made people leave the company just because he's there.
Yep. Bobby Roode left the company for a grand total of like 10 days or some shit like that, just because John Gabrick's a dumbass. The stupidity.
And wasn't he the champion at the time?
Or either the world or like a tag team champion, I think, because this is like 2013, I think. Maybe it was
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah, it was stupid. Like, it literally came down to the last minute. They're like, how you let somebody contract lapse? What talk about when we needed the dummy button way back then?
Yeah, I think it was for Lockdown 2013, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, cause he had this long absence and then all of a sudden he just popped back up on the pay-per-view. I'm like, wow, this literally came down to the wire, didn't
That was some dumbassery right there. Yeah, because they were the tag team champions, and there was people who thought that they may not even show up for Lockdown, or at least Bobby Roode wasn't. And they even kind of teased it with Austin walking in by himself, and then I think Roode popped up like about 30 seconds later. So back to the Tonight Show. Six Sides of Steel is next. This was kind of I said on the NerdCorp podcast on Friday with Swish. This was either going to be a really cool match like what we got with D'Angelo Williams. I'm sorry, at Slamversary, or it was going to be a car crash. Either way, it's going to be entertaining, and it was entertaining, but it was a car crash.
he? Yeah, it was it was a hodgepodge of okay, all right, that's good.
Basically, I like the fact that they booked the wrestlers stronger over the MMA guys. Moose gets locked out. Bonner shows his submission abilities and actually moves around very well. He transitioned from submission hold to submission hold flawlessly. So there might be something for Bonner long term. So that's interesting. Eventually, the American Top Team guys charged the ring, ripped open the door, attacked the ref, attacked Bonner, and then Moose climbed up. And then Moose became Flying Squirrel and leapt all onto the American Top Team guys, and it was really just funny as hell. King Mo gets busted open like fucking AJ Green went after him in a football game today.
Sure.
And then the ending saw Lashley surprisingly hit Moose and pin him. Was it Moose that he pinned or Bonner?
No, he pinned. Yeah, Lashley pinned Moose. He hit him with the spear.
That's right.
Yeah.
So apparently Lashley's decided to stick around for a little bit longer. I could honestly see come Friday, Lashley and Moose have a loser leaves Impact match. I could see that.
Yeah, that was yeah, like you said, the match was cool. They were screwed from the get go because obviously numbers game. Um, and shout out to Moose for always doing some special stuff for the pay per view. But this time, bringing out a rapper and out of like it was cool. For what happened, but a lot of white people always was like, "What is he saying? What is he rapping?" It was kind of you could hear it, but it was like, okay, all right, yeah, we didn't need this song rapped.
Yeah, it was painfully obvious. Apparently, the guy is Moose's brother.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, or stepbrother, I think they said. And it wasn't even he was rapping. You could tell it was just lyrics that he was lip syncing to, which made it
Yeah.
even funnier.
It was like he added lyrics to the song. It was kind of offbeat. He tried to like improvise. I appreciate the effort, but it came off awkward, and I would almost appreciate it had he just brought the cheerleaders back out for the thing, because the song is great by itself, and him coming out doing the fist with the little guitar, which I like to mimic. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate the effort doing something special for a pay per view.
Well, how do you pronounce the guy's name? Jediah? Jidena?
Jadena, yeah,
Jidena? Jidena, this man was not.
at all.
No.
Not a classic man at all.
No. But I still give the match a 2.75. It was very entertaining for what it was. It wasn't a classic by any means, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
Then we get to the main event, Impact Global Championship. Eli Drake versus Johnny Impact. This was a fun match. I liked this match. This was a very good match. Had the ending not been so obtuse, it probably would have finished with a 4.75. Put it in conversation for one of the better matches of all time. Eli looked great in this. Johnny Impact looked better. Really strong stuff. Impact really dominated most of the match, but Eli had 3 or 4, maybe 5 moments where I thought the match was over and he kicked out, showing the resiliency of the champ, which you don't see with heel champions ever.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
dug that.
yeah. He's getting booked um with more, I guess, fervor, if you will, than Magnus did. But a lot of this has to do with just Drake's all around better than Magnus,
Oh
both on
yeah,
the
that's
mic and
obvious.
in the ring. Um, but I kind of just I'm like, man, Drake can really do this on his own. I don't need Adonis. I know you're a fan of Adonis, but he's kind of just there for me. And I've seen Drake be able to handle stuff on his own. Like he had a match a while back with Patron. I thought was great when he was champ. But other than that, like you said, yeah, the match was some great stuff. Johnny always pulls out some unique creative stuff to slide on the guardrail and all that good stuff. And like
Channeling
you
his
said,
inner AJ Styles on that spot.
yeah, that channel some in there. Yeah, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's where I remember that from. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Drake held his own, kicked out a lot of sick stuff, super Spanish fly and all that good stuff. And even hit springboard moonsault, which was sick.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, but that finish was just come on, man. Like this goes back to like you said, classic. Fuck finishes for these world championship matches. So
I thought for sure El Patron would get involved and cost Impact the match, and Drake would retain the belt like a heel, and that was fine for me because Impact's going to be someone that Impact. Well, that's going to be confusing. Johnny's going to be someone that Impact wants to utilize. He's got a strong fan base. He's very popular. He's been doing good work in Impact. He's delivering every time he performs. But Drake needs to be their champion, and I think they're all in agreement with that. So you need to kind of find a way of making Impact look good while keeping the belt on Drake without taking away heat from him. So I figured an El Patron heel turn by attacking Johnny Impact would have made the most sense because
yeah.
they had history. They worked a really damn good match with one another.
Hmm.
Maybe their respective best matches in their careers. Maybe. So there was already a built-in rivalry there that you could, exploit and utilize, and a heel Patron is a better Patron. I'm not saying better than what, just better than a face Patron is really all it is.
Yeah.
But to go the lengths that El Patron did to hijack the main event, he dropped Johnny Impact with a chair shot, drop him again with a second chair shot that broke, which was hilarious because it was one of those like wedding chairs,
Yeah.
like those rental plastic ones. So that was hilarious. And then he dropped Eli Drake with a title shot for no reason. And then he pulled Eli on top of Johnny and then left. You didn't need to do all that. You could have just done where he pulled out Johnny Impact and pissed him off a bit, and then on Monday say, while I think Eli Drake's a paper champion, Impact is the one that technically took my spot because when I was here, so was Drake. But when I was suspended, that's when Johnny Impact came
Yeah.
in. So
It's
they could have done that, but they didn't, and they overbooked the ending.
again another overbooked ending. But like you said, the match was cool. It's just those finishes, man. They got to get better with those finishes. But it's gonna be interesting seeing with these new tapings because obviously they're gonna have to, I guess, set up some form of new authority figure or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or just go back to saying Impact officials, if you will, because there has to be consequences to stuff like they have a horrible history of refs just getting attacked and no repercussions for that, or finishes like this, no repercussions. So it'll be interesting seeing how they set stuff up because obviously JC isn't there anymore and Jared is out. So who you gonna have as the disciplinarian? Dutch Mantel.
Bruce Pritchard.
Oh God. So it's a never-ending cyclone of screw you.
So which one do you like better, the screw you or the thank you, fuck you, bye?
Oh, that one. Who said that? Because when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's great.
I mean, Corny's amazing. Let's just be honest. That's one of the best things ever.
Yeah, Jim Cornette the man is captivating. However you feel about his take or whatever on wrestling, the man is captivating. It's just once again, for whatever reason, stuff fell through once again because something always kind of gets, I guess, muddled behind the scenes for whatever reason with this company.
Now, it got a 2.659 for the total. Sorry, 2.625 for the totality of the show. Um, so just to show you guys that I'm not being overly critical on Impact, I'm not being some schmuck. Literally, all but one WrestleMania got a worse grade than this, in my opinion. The only WrestleMania to get a better grade than this week's Bound for Glory was WrestleMania 19, which I gave a 3.028. Now, I don't judge shows based off the segments, because segments come and go. What may have been cool one year is not as cool as the next year, but match quality stays consistent across the generations. So this week's, tonight's Bound for Glory had better matches in its totality than most WrestleManias, in my opinion. I've always graded Impact to be a better product than WWE. Maybe not in more recent years, but over its longevity, like over the course of the last 17, 15 years, yes. So C plus, C, no, it's a C. It's about a C.
Yeah,
CCC.
C minus for me. Just like between just freaking Patron, man. Like, damn, really? Like, just taking all the time and talking about your family and naming your daughters, which he never does. Um, but yeah, you sucked up too much time that could have been allotted, and with the finish, and um, a year from now, somebody's probably still gonna be trying to explain the Monsters Ball match. So it gets a C minus for me.
You can't explain that. That was just a calamity. It really was.
Shout out to Laura. What do you think she's entertaining? But damn, just stop cutting to her. Like,
Yep. I mean, let's be real. She's awesome, but we don't need to say her that often.
the one time a woman that beautiful is annoying people. Shout out to Zack Ryder, but Jesus.
Yep. Oh, just one final thought. WrestleMania 19 itself, I graded higher than every other Bound for Glory except for 2.
Yeah, I mean,
I say that's consistency.
there have been some top matches on cards past that, but a lot of times matches can't save an entire card.
No.
That's been poorly booked or just matches. I mean, yeah, that goes with the booking how matches are placed. So you can't really get over that because a lot of times either the best match on the show didn't close the show, or
That's all it had. It was a one-show pony.
yeah, one show pony, or stuff didn't necessarily live up to the hype, or a lot of matches just got kind of bunched on there because it's WrestleMania, you need bodies. So yeah,
What was the one that had 28? Was that the one with the Hell in a Cell?
yeah, the end of an era, yeah.
That wasn't even in my top 10 WrestleManias by grade, but that had probably my favorite WrestleMania match of all time. That Hell in a Cell match. It was fucking magnificent.
Perfect
So
way to, perfect way to end something. You just got to keep going, don't you, WWE?
gotta bring them all back again. Hey, let's look at it's more. Oh, it's so good. Can't wait to see more Stephanie and Triple H. So good. And we're on AJ Styles watch, if you will, because come Tuesday, I fully expect him to win the World Championship from Jinder Mahal. So we'll see what happens with that. I might be
Really?
right. I might be wrong.
I'm surprised they ain't set up this thing where Styles is the guy who exclusively wins the big titles on live events.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Although, even if he does win the title on Tuesday, he's still going to be losing to Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. So, I mean, like, either way.
Yeah, I almost want him to lose the title and then Brock just take it upon himself to just keep bullying him. Like, he forgets all about Brock because he's obsessed with the title, and Brock just shows up. What you think? I'm not gonna kill you because you don't have a title?
Squashes Jinder after Jinder already loses. Let me ask you real fast before we head out. Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho. Did you see that coming this morning?
No, I didn't. I've been seeing a lot of scuttle about that, and because Jericho is basically a supernova, right? With how he kind of comes in and out of WWE, and it's really at a spot in his life where he kind of just really does what he wants, which is great. But no, I did not see that coming. But because of the way he set his career up, it can happen.
Yeah.
Which is even better. And New Japan is on fire right now. I'm gonna after I get off the pod with you and kind of get this Impact report squared away, I'm going to watch Power Stroke.
I caught up on it today. It's a solid show, not bad stuff. So, main event was definitely something worth to see. Tanahashi and Kota
Oh
definitely
yeah,
delivered, at least in my opinion. I'm not a New Japan guy. I'm not a big New Japan guy. But seeing that announcement today was kind of awesome. I even posted a video about it. I don't expect it to be a 6-star classic, but I do think it's going to be well worth the spectacle it's going to be, because it's Chris Jericho's first time in New Japan in nearly 20 years.
yeah. I'm about to say this is a return for him, right? Because
Yeah.
that's kind of where you got started at. So
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting match, and it's what I'm more interested in seeing is if the WWE welcomes him back after, because this is not something that is sitting well with the top execs in WWE. Some of
really,
them, yeah. Well, I mean, he's a free agent. He doesn't have to ask for permission.
oh no, I was just saying that because you know how much they love to acknowledge people from Japan. Oh, he was big in Japan. He was big in
Yeah,
Japan.
big in Japan, but they very rarely say New Japan.
I was watching what that was yeah, that was last Raw when Joe returned and Booker was like, "Trust me, I've been in the ring with Joe. He's not to be played." I'm like, and where have you been in the ring with Joe at, Booker?
Was it in Houston for a certain impactful promotion? Bitch, I still remember Booker T not wanting to lose that ladder match at Bound for Glory and just leaving early. My shoulder, dog! My shoulder! Someone call Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for him!
Between that and he left TNA and improved upon that already horrible accent.
Right?
Because he came
Oh.
back to WWE and I guess perfected a less shittier version of it. But in Impact, it was like he was doing like a Down syndrome Jamaican accent.
My favorite thing to this day was when he was cutting a promo in his royal garb with the Legends Championship, and he goes, "In my home country of Africa." I'm like, Booker, it's a continent. What? Come on. Oh my god, I loved Booker in WCW, and WWE he was always a fun watch, but in TNA he
But
kind of went to a whole new realm.
meanwhile, in his opinion, the "we coming for you" was an embarrassment to black people, right?
If that was an embarrassment for black people, then the my home country of Africa was the Gili for black people. It was an all-time low. Like right up there with some of the worst, like Kanye calling himself a god and not knowing what fish sticks are and why they're in his mouth.
Oh my God, it was horrible, man.
Oh god.
It was bad, and he
Seriously.
committed. Like he committed doing that whole
Yeah.
main event mafia thing. He committed. In between him and Scott Steiner's crazy.
Weighing in at 500 cheeseburgers and it's fat ass.
And the main event mafia freaking breaking up and him not just ignoring the fact that it happened. What do you mean we broke up?
Kurt, what do you mean we broke up? Yeah, Scott, we broke up. What was this? Oh, by the way, Petey Williams wants to do another run with Scott Steiner in Impact.
Little Petey Pop, I love that time.
Final thought, folks: just go watch the PD Pump story. It's animated, where he talks about working out with Scott Steiner and going to lunch with him. It's hilarious, and it's literally everything you want from a Scott Steiner shoot story.
Like our overall recommendation after Bound for Glory, just go to the Global Wrestling Network and watch the old Impacts.
Yes, Global Wrestling Network. I've been enjoying the hell out of it. I've been enjoying the hell out of the Impact Wrestling channel on Pluto TV as well. So
Because they showed, I think that was a clip this week. They had it on YouTube. A part of the show where Sting won the title from Angle when he caught.
oh yeah,
Nash
when he
coming
caught
over.
no when Angle caught the bat. No, Sting caught Angle's bat with his face.
And he caught Nash coming. He crotched Nash, and then he dropped. He snapped, hit him with the bat. And I guess because of the way Nash's body set up, he has to fall a certain way too. So he took himself over the rope, stood, and then fell.
Well, he didn't want to blow out another quad, so.
Like
But he has the audacity to call people vanilla minge. I'm just saying. All right, so that'll be it for tonight's show. Thanks for listening. If you like what we're doing here, check us out on realnerdcorp.com, RealNerdCorp. Be sure to follow us on Twitter as well at NerdCorp, and on Instagram at realnerdcorp, RealNerdCorp. Marcus is on Twitter as well at ParadoxKid, ParadoxKid.
That's me.
And you can find me at Chad Nerdcorp on Twitter at ChadNerdCorp. Pissed off the Lonzo Ball fan base this week. Oops.
Really?
Shoot better than 2 for 19. Dude, it's fucking terrible.
Oh, there you go again, pissing off people with facts. You're such a bastard. You're such a bastard.
I'm such an asshole. How dare I speak facts and point out to the obvious?
Let's hope this week on SportsCorp nobody mentions James Winston's pump his team up speech. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to be talking some Jameis Winston on Monday. So every Monday, every Tuesday, every Thursday, Mixlr.com/NerdCorp. You can hear us live. Mondays is SportsCorp. We talk about sports. Tuesday is our kind of random wrestling show. That's not a bad idea for a name. And then Thursday, of course, is our ComicCorp show where we talk about the Arrowverse, comic books, sci-fi, and anything else that kind of tickles our fancy. Wednesdays, you can also find us on Mixer.com only at 9 p.m., and that's our long-running Wrestlecorp radio show with myself and Zach Duncan. We're going to be basically doing what we didn't do last week this week, so be sure to check that out. And, yeah, check out the YouTube channel as well, which you guys are either listening to live, and that's youtube.com/NerdCorp, or you're listening to it on YouTube, in which case, what's up? So with all that being said, I have been Chad Porto. He has been Marcus Green. This has been our review of Bound for Glory 2017. Could have been better, should have been better, but oh well. We'll see you Thursday for another Impact. Marcus, take us home.
Good night, me.